Welcome to the Mind, Heart, Gut podcast. I'm your host, Christian Borja. Here we go beyond the surface and dive into what truly means to live well. This is a space for conversation on holistic health, mindset, emotional clarity, and conscious living, all through the lens of the body's three powerful intelligence centers: the mind, the heart, and the gut. Whether you're here to reset, reflect, or reimagine what wellness looks like in your life, I'm glad you're here. So let's dive in. All right, in today's episode, I'm going to get personal. We're going to dive into my experience, my story after recovery, after my drug addiction, after starting to eat clean, starting to work out, everything I felt I was trying to do right, but still felt empty, still felt like I was coming up short. Just I wasn't right. And some people call this burnout. Some people call this depression. Some people call this, just mental health in general, whatever it may be. What I really realized is that even after recovery, there is a burnout that can show up when you're doing everything right. However, though, you still don't feel safe. Even after all of the surviving through whatever you may have gone through, whatever trauma you may have experienced, or maybe you haven't, but you've just made changes within your life that you're focusing in on to, be improvements in a positive direction towards the life that you truly want. But you're still feeling empty inside. You're still feeling like it's not aligning with you. You still feel off, right? So now, again, just a quick little background. I went through about a decade-long drug addiction. And at a certain point, I was able to get myself out of it. If you want to know all the whole story and the details, you can go check out the first episode that I released about my story. But once I got out, I focused in on eating healthy. I really tried to do everything I could to support my body in the detox process to a certain extent to, what I knew at the time, as well as, getting a good fitness routine consistent within my life, and just really taking a focus in on health as part of my lifestyle now. And for the first couple of years, things felt really good. Everything was going right. However, it came to a point where life kind of allowed me to realize that the healing hadn't 100% been done. And yes, the body is feeling a lot better than it did before. I'm still not happy, and there's still something new that I'm chasing that might not be totally good for me. In the sense, it led to a burnout where even though I wasn't, addicted to drugs anymore, now I had this new addiction to working out or trying to be more and more successful and all of these different things. Now, these things aren't bad things, but what was bad was the intentions and where these things came from. You see, these intentions were a damaged ego based. And when I talk about that, I talk about my own self-beliefs, my own stories, and why I'm now doing the things. At this point, I was really into getting into bodybuilding, getting as big as I could. Now, even though I didn't take any, anabolic steroids or anything like that, everything's been 100%, natural. I was surplusing tons and tons of calories, tons and tons of protein, and just going super hard on my workouts. I enjoy going really hard on my workouts and bringing a certain level of intensity to my workouts. However, again, the intentions were for size and were for physique and ego. They weren't for actual real life stuff, or good intentions that actually really serve my actual life, other than me kind of just working out from the scared little insecure boy that I was when I was a child, because I was very skinny. I've always been, the scrawnier type. And so once I, especially when I was on drugs and stuff like that, I was super, super, super skinny. So once I started working out and I started, gaining weight and gaining muscle and all that, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And people started giving me compliments. It felt good. But now I was just chasing that same good feeling. And I wasn't actually feeling good inside. I was looking for other people's, right? Other people's opinion, other people's affirmations instead of affirming myself. And now, I wasn't quite able to even get to that point of even understanding that I was there. But I was chasing this. I was taking all of these different high calorie supplements, protein shakes, and high protein, like all this stuff. And I was getting sick a lot. I mean, even though I was gaining size, right? I could barely even scratch my shoulder because my upper body was so big. But it was hard to get up the stairs. I couldn't, I could carry my child, but to be able to walk and carry it, I was getting winded. My cardio sucked. My skin was terrible. There was just a lot of other issues now that I was also insecure about. So when you have skin issues, that's not something that you're proud of or feel confident with. Like, that brings more insecurity to the body. And see, this is where understanding how the body works is so important to be able to fix a lot of these things. And so my journey really led me to looking inward instead of looking outward, because when I was focusing in on the bodybuilding stuff and all this stuff, I was looking outward. I was looking at all the different stuff. I was looking at all these different things. And again, right, I was only doing that because of certain things I thought about myself from within. And once I started realizing that there are no winners or losers, like it's just me versus me, really. But it's not even me versus me. It's just me going through life, doing the best that I can, and focusing in on doing everything intentionally for the right reasons that are going to truly serve what I actually want in this life. So, what changed everything for me wasn't another workout plan. It was, again, understanding how my inner systems worked, like my nervous system, my lymphatic system, my gut microbiome. And as I started to dive inward and understanding these different systems, I started experimenting. I started changing up what I was doing and started trying out some of these new things and started researching and then started educating myself through different courses and classes and really started to get a good understanding of how our body actually works. There is so many different systems and different things going on within our body that it is mind-blowing, that we are completely unaware of. So I wanted to be aware. And what I found is that the more I became aware of what was actually going on in my body, the more I began to understand it, the more I began to focus in on what needed support within my body, right? Once I started learning that most of my anxiety and a lot of the different emotions that pop up in the head that deal with our mental health come from the gut microbiome, it was insane. Understanding how the hormones work and everything like that. Understanding, like, if I want good, clear skin, then I need to be able to detox my lymphatic system. It's not about the things outside of us, it's about the stuff within us. And so I started diving in and researching and understanding things about, like the vagus nerve and polyvagal theory and the research that they were bringing out. And, this stuff is actually, a lot of this stuff has been around for a very long time. It's just no one talks about it or no one teaches about it. So that's what, I've really focused in on, being able to not only share my own experience of how I've been able to get to the point that I've gotten to, and by no means am I perfect. However, I've been able to work through a lot of fucking shit. And through my process of working through the things that I've had to work through, very similar, but probably possibly different than what you may be going through. But I've been able to help so many individuals, so many that have recovered from addiction and starting their new journey, so many that have been, focusing in on a awesome gym routine and eating clean and healthy, but don't really have the understanding of what's really going on inside. Or just helping those to be able to break through some of the programs and stuff that we're stuck under. like your ego and childhood traumas and, really just the child version of you coming out and where your intentions truly are and why you're doing some of the things that you're doing, right? And allow you to reflect and help guide you to be able to make the decisions based off of what truly you need. So, it's doing the experiments to stop having to guess and stop having to look outside of you, being able to guide yourself based off of what is actually going on within you. And that's where the whole intuitive health comes from my point of view, right? So with that, I started diving into understanding the nervous system, like I said, understanding the lymphatic system and the gut microbiome, and really understanding what these systems did for my body, and then how to support these systems, right? So when we talk about the nervous system, and the nervous system is like our electrical system for our body, and in order to be able to, for our nervous system, it's going to give us warnings. And it's, so when we talk about, things like burnout or, getting anxiety or any of these things, it's just one area of our body that provides energy and helps be able to recover the body, but also go into fight or flight as well. And so, when we really look at our nervous system and how it works, really, it's just there to give us signals. Yeah, it can make us react in a certain way, or we can focus in on responding in a certain way. So the more you understand about, the different notifications, I should say, that our nervous system gives us, instead of reacting and losing your shit, freaking out, or let alone taking medication to suppress your nervous system, start to look at why your nervous system is responding the way that it is. One thing we want to look at is your nutrition. What are we providing nutritionally to nourish and support our nervous system? Our nervous system needs electrolytes and minerals to really operate properly. Magnesium is a huge mineral to be able to help the nervous system do what it does. And so if you're not getting in magnesium through the food that you're eating, then that's something that you really need to be able to look at, and personally, I'm not saying that this is the right way or anything like that, but personally, I don't take any supplements unless I absolutely have to. And magnesium is one of the only ones that like I will take if I absolutely have to, if I'm not getting it through the food that that has magnesium in it, right? So that's the only time that I'll take a magnesium supplement to be able to help support my nervous system if I know that I'm not getting it in from the foods that I'm eating. And that's usually only like when I'm traveling, or if I've got, a really busy week where I'm not able to go and get the foods that I need. But understanding again how the nervous system works and what fuels your nervous system, what keeps your nervous system doing what it's doing, right? Just like every other system outside of us, they all need certain ingredients to be energized and do the things that they do. The systems within our body are the exact same. And that's all I'm here to be able to teach, but then help guide by experimenting with finding out what it is that your systems need. And honestly, we should be able to support our systems, again, through the food that we're eating naturally. All the fruits and vegetables, they all provide everything that we need. So, that's where the nourishment comes through. Now, as far as the movement, all right, the movement also supports the nervous system. Movement also supports the lymphatic system, as well as food supports the lymphatic system, supports the gut microbiome, all right, because your movement is the energy crank to the body, all right? Your fuel is your food, right? That's going to support the energy continuation. However, though, to get the body burning that fuel, you need to start the engines. And movement is how we start the engines, and it's the hand crank wheel to keeping that energy flowing, right? And then what we're putting into the body and where we're placing our body outside in the sun, okay, all of these things are going to help give the body energy, So part of what I do with my one-on-one holistic coaching as well as my group coaching is we focus in on what's your lifestyle like? What are you doing right now? Because based off of coming through honestly about what it is we're doing within our life, what time do we wake up? What do we do in the morning times? What are we, what's the first thing that we're having for breaking our fast? What time do we do that? What is your job like? How much are you sitting down in the day? How much do you go outside? Are you wearing sunglasses all the time? Glasses? Like, there's so much that goes in. What time are you going to bed? How much, there's so much that goes in. So we understand what your relationship is with the day. How are you using the 24 hours within your day, and what are you putting yourself through? We understand that relationship. And then those are going to be the key points where we're able to start focusing in on what we need to start adding into your lifestyle to support your body, to support all the systems, to support your energy, to support your mind, all of these different things, right? So, and once we start to understand, okay, what is it we're doing? Maybe you are working out, you wake up, you get lots of sunshine, you're eating right and stuff like that. You're getting good sleep, but we're still feeling the burnout. We're still feeling the fatigue. We're still feeling, off. A lot of the time is that we're not implementing the correct, movements. We're not doing anything, again, to provide the safe place because all of our workouts are so intense. So with intense workouts, we create tension through the body. And as we go through the day, if we have stress, we're adding more tension into the body, and our muscles store that tension. Our joints begin to store that tension. And then our body is now under constant stress. And that constant stress is using up energy within our body. And therefore, we're not able to have all of the energy that we truly want to have for the things that we want to do. And this is where the burnout comes from, right? See, when I was working out and I was focusing in on the bodybuilding and doing all that, it was all go, 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 as strong as I could. It was just the intentions were in the wrong place. I wasn't stretching as much. I did a little yoga here and there, and I stretched a little bit. I foam rolled a little bit, but it wasn't nearly as much as how intense I was going throughout the day, plus let alone all the stress of being a dad and husband and business owner and all these different things, right? So I was never allowing myself to have time to actually decompress, not just mentally by going through nature, sitting down and watching a sunset or any of those things, but actually allow my body through movement to release tension. And see, through, myofascial release, if you understand that, or you get massages and they work out knots and stuff, that is one way to do it, but it's actually not truly moving that energy out of the body. We physically have to move that energy out of the body. And this is what somatics, this is what mobility, and this is what qigong, all of these practices of movement connected to breath, connected to intention, do to help heal, all right, the body physically, through the tissue and fascia within, right? And we can be holding on to stuff all the way from our childhood, right? I did. That's what led me to my hip injury. And that's one of the big things that led me into movement, and focusing in on learning these things, understanding the breath work connected through certain movements with intention to actually tap into the energy, the negative energy that my body's holding on to that has been ruining me, that's been holding me back and not actually allowing me to live the life that I wanted to. Then supporting the systems to detox, all right, that negative energy out of my body, the lactic acid buildup, all right, the negative pHs within the body and our alkalinity systems, and help support the detox of our lymphatic system. So help to be able to support our gut microbiome, our digestive system, and all of the detoxifying organs and our kidneys, right? Like, most people don't even understand what all of these things are or they do. When we see things outside of ourselves, people suggest different things, but no one's there to work and talk with you to actually figure out what you actually need. All right, this is a very unique process, and it took me quite a long time, years of experimentation with myself to find out my way. And my way is not for everyone. What my body needs is not for everyone, because we're all uniquely different. We all have a unique, different history. And whatever history you have with what you've put into your body or what's happened to your body or you throughout your life, all matters. And based off of all of that is how you're going to uniquely find what it is that your body truly needs. So, you know, again, that's what I do. If this is something that resonates with you, if you're like, oh my gosh, I totally feel this, I'd love to invite you to my 12-week holistic transformation program. It starts July 14th, 2025. Right now it is, as I'm recording this, it's June 12th. Not sure when you're going to hear this, but I do these 12-week group. It's going to be a group transformation live program where we do weekly Zoom check-ins, Q&As. I go over specific topics as we roll through the program, but you're going to focus in on movement, you're going to focus in on nourishment, and you're going to focus in on mindfulness. And we focus in on the mind, heart, and the gut. And we really bring awareness to all three of these areas of the body, first to educate and understand, then reflect and see what might be, some different blocks that we may be dealing with in these certain areas. And then we focus in on removing those blocks and working with the body through movement and nourishment, as well as mindfulness, to be able to clear these and allow you to move forward, but truly understand and start to support your body for the lifestyle that you want to live, right? We all want to be able to be successful with what we do, but we want to be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We want to be able to enjoy time with your family, not the burnout after working 40 hours a week, right? And doing all of these things for the people that we love and we want to support, but not being able to actually enjoy life. So if that's you, all right, send me an email or go to my website and you can find all the information on how to join there. Find me on my social media links, Instagram and TikTok, and you can send me a DM there and give you more details and information on how to join. But other than that, again, I appreciate each and every one of you showing up, giving me some of your time and energy listening into this. And again, if any of this resonates with you and you're feeling stuck, reach out. Right? We can't really truly move forward until we ask for help. So I'm here to help you out. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Sending you lots of love. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.